I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again for another episode of the BOOM. Of course, I am your host of the most, as always. My name is Cam G. Of course, the man to the right of me, that is the man known as Phil Connor. Of course, the man on the ones and twos, making sure the show runs smooth, my co-host and producer at this time, Metalcore Mike. Gentlemen, AEW was last night for Title Tuesday, going basically head-to-head with Showdown, NXT and TNA's joint show that they had on Tuesday as well. But we decided to run, of course, on our normal night on Wednesday. So we'll be talking about Title Tuesday from last night. But before I get into that, we are joined here on another Wednesday night. How is your Wednesday evening going, gentlemen?
You know, some days are easier than others. You know, it's as simple as that. Some days are just easier than others. You know, not a bad day, but it's just, you know, it's been a day. I'll say that. I'll leave it at that. It's been a day.
Fair enough.
it's been a day.
Bill?
Things just don't seem to things don't seem to be going my way today. I'll say that.
It's one of those days, huh?
Yeah, like my computer screen is just for some reason acting funky right now, and it's kind of pissing me off, and I think one of the connections are loose, and it's not going to affect us from being live. It's just going to affect me from having power on my computer screen. So I'm trying to fix it as we go here. So don't mind me if you gentlemen want to talk while I fix my issue here.
Phil, how was your
No
day?
worries. You know, I feel a lot like Mike in some ways, but in others, it was kind of just a normal go through the motions kind of day for me. Nothing really too major happened other than just work shenanigans, but that always happens there. But I definitely feel where Mike is coming from, because I feel like we definitely all have those kind of days from time to time. But yeah, it's just another ordinary Wednesday for me as we try to chug along on the world of professional wrestling.
That's fair enough. I mean, I completely understand that.
We're good to go.
Awesome.
My day was, fairly.
How was your day, Cam? You always ask us, how was your day?
My day was fairly normal, I guess. Outside of the annoying hammering that was around the house as they're doing work around the house. They just left, so that's great. So I'll have to deal with that while I'm on air. So other than that, it was a pretty normal Wednesday.
See, Cam,
to report.
You're getting to the point where you're getting close to your 30s. So you remember how I told you the other day how I felt like once I hit it feels like yesterday I was 30 and now I'm 39. You're going to start complaining about things as you get older, and it's going to be like the little annoying things like people hammering outside your house while you're trying to run a fucking podcast. And it just gets to that point where you're like, hold on, guys, I'll be right back. And you just go, knock the fucking hammering off. I'm trying to run a podcast. That's the stuff you're going to start doing. You'll start getting to that point where you'll start pointing out annoying things to people. And, you know,
I mean, I kind of already was. I'm somebody who has a very low tolerance for stupidity. So
yeah.
I get annoyed quite easily.
Yeah.
That's not really going to be anything new.
I'm with you on that boat. And I dealt with a situation like that today, and I was just, oh man.
So it happens. What can I tell you? But gentlemen, we are going to get into Title Tuesday from last night. Again, not a completely outrageous show necessarily. A few things here and there that I didn't really like, but other than that, didn't really have me wanting to pull out what's left of my hair out of my head. So yeah, we're gonna get into that.
This honestly wasn't a bad. It wasn't a bad show. I'll say that. I do have to say that. Like, we're gonna run it down and talk about it, but normally the past few Wednesdays, we have come on and aired our grievances to the fact that AEW has been having a lot of issues.
Yeah.
And I you know what I think it is? I think it's all about the market that they go into on how they do their shows. Like when they're in Daly's place, it almost seems like when they're in Daly's place, they can't run a bad show.
Yeah.
Like if you go back to like the pandemic when they ran in Daly's place every week, it's like AEW was the must-watch wrestling show next to probably NXT. Because Raw and SmackDown just completely sucked during the pandemic.
Yeah.
That's just, but it's like Dynamite next to NXT was the show to watch. And just the atmosphere of Daly's place just gave you that feeling. Now, being back there last night, and I watched this show literally an hour before we went live. Like I watched it.
Same.
Yeah, I didn't watch it last night. I watched it today, and just it was enjoyable. It wasn't, I didn't feel like I wanted to rip my hair out. So I was trying to be funny there. It's okay. But it was a good show. It wasn't bad. Like I'm with you. There was some things I was like, why? But and I'll point those out. I definitely will. I'll point those points out that I feel like were like, why? But other than that, not bad. Wasn't horrible or unbearable.
Yeah, I don't think so either, realistically. So compared to what they have been giving us, I mean,
Oh yeah, compared to what they have been giving us, this was a really solid show. So we'll go through it.
But we start off top of the hour. We have of course a promo, an in-ring promo between Hangman Adam Page and Samoa Joe. They will be facing each other for the World Heavyweight Championship coming not this Saturday, but I believe next Saturday. For the World Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Dream. So looking forward to that. Again, we had talked about this in length about how the road, I guess, or lack thereof to get here was lackluster. But I really enjoyed this promo. Hangman obviously says to Samoa Joe that he respects him and he feels like he owes him just from his efforts of trying to take down Jon Moxley and take the World Heavyweight Championship away from Jon Moxley. Joe says to Hangman that he is a pretender, he's not a real champion, and that he will beat him and break him down and make him submit and become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Like I said, I really like this. This I think made up for how this feud started or how we got this match made in the first place. This feels like another big match. This feels like a must win for Hangman Adam Page to really, I don't know, sort of prove himself to Joe and maybe to a portion of the audience that may not believe in Hangman Adam Page as world champion. And then for Samoa Joe just wants to get back the World Heavyweight Championship. So I like where they're at right now with it. They don't really need to do a whole lot with this. I think they're in a good place with it right now. So pretty good promos to open up Dynamite tonight. But let me get you guys' thoughts on this promo between Hangman Adam Page and Samoa Joe. Mike, I'm gonna start with you.
I was a fan of Samoa Joe's promo. I wasn't a big fan of what Hangman Adam Page said because my feeling is I feel like we're getting, wash, rinse, repeat with what Hangman Adam Page has to give us when it comes to a promo. The whole, fighting champion, just like Samoa Joe said, the whole fighting champion rah-rah speech that he gives in his past two defenses or three defenses against Moxley, now against Joe, against
Fletcher.
Kyle Fletcher. Yeah, it's like we're getting almost the same promo from Hangman Adam Page. But Samoa Joe comes out and says, no, it's not something that you owed me. It's just something that I'm coming to collect because we've been dealing with why am I forgetting their name tonight? Why am I forgetting names tonight? The Death Riders. Thank you. And, they've been dealing with them as well. So it's almost like they're collecting on saying, hey, we just made sure that you got the world title away from the Death Riders. We came out to make sure that happened. We weren't doing it basically for you. We were doing it for us because now we have the opportunity to come and grab that world title. And does Samoa Joe necessarily, and I know we'll probably do our predictions next week for this pay-per-view, does Samoa Joe have a huge chance of winning this? Yes. There is one thing I would not mind seeing, and that is the Ops take a complete 360 and just come out and completely destroy Hangman Adam Page at Wrestle Dream and Samoa Joe walk out with the world title. I would not mind seeing this group become a heel group. And I could see it in the future. It's probably not going to happen, but you can kind of see this group turn that a little bit. Like, have that turn. And it would be so out of left field because nobody would expect it. Just imagine that, like Samoa Joe and Hangman having this great fight, and then out of nowhere comes the rest of the Ops, and they just beat down Hangman, and Samoa Joe wins the world title completely out of left field. And believe me, AEW can use a completely out of left field type of situation right now. They can. And for Samoa Joe to win the world title back would be more meaningful than Hangman. I mean, Hangman being a good world champion right now, it'd be a little more meaningful for the fact of Joe winning, because what are we going to get when MJF comes back? And who did MJF lose his world title to? Samoa Joe. So this goes back to what I talked about last week. The realm of believability that Samoa Joe gave us last night, that he could come out and win the world title, give us a completely out of left field situation of the Ops completely just destroying Hangman and walking out with the world title at Wrestle Dream.
I mean, that is an interesting element, I think. Until you mentioned MJF. Now, I've stated before that if that were to happen, then MJF ultimately would be the babyface coming into this, taking on Samoa Joe. You could do heel versus heel, but it's just like, you really have to have somebody that the crowd's realistically going to get behind. So in that regard, I honestly would keep Joe and the rest of the Ops face. Give Joe a little bit of an edge. I mean, he could attack him after this match, do heel-esque moves, and the rest of the Ops are just kind of like, trying to hold him back or whatever. So there's kind of like a wedge in between there, because Joe is kind of just dead set focused on winning back the World Heavyweight Championship, and the rest of the Ops are just like, what are you doing? Like, this is not how we do things. So I wouldn't mind seeing Samoa Joe. Maybe they run this match back again. Hangman retains the first match, Joe wins the second match, and then you could do Joe versus MJF when MJF does come back. Because I think that would just be like a full circle moment right there. That makes sense to me. So, but I still would definitely have Joe still be the babyface, and then, like I said, have MJF come in as the ultimate heel. That's just the way I would see it. Just because, again, MJF, his heel work is just amazing. But Phil, your thoughts on the opening promo?
I enjoyed what both of them did last night, for sure. Especially Joe, mainly Joe. Not just because of what Mike was saying with the whole kind of repetitiveness of what Hangman has been kind of doing with his promos as of late, but anytime that Samoa Joe is in a world title picture, it legitimizes it and it means something. I mean, we've all known this. Samoa Joe is just one hell of a competitor in and of himself anyway. And anytime Samoa Joe speaks, you damn well listen, because at the end of the day, he is going to kick your ass. And that's what's realistically going to happen here in this match at Wrestle Dream. We're going to get a hell of a match. The only thing that I had a problem with was just how this whole entire thing came about. And I explained that last week. I'm not going to do it again. But I mean, just the whole out of nowhereness of this whole entire situation, instead of like actually building to something that ultimately led to the crescendo of possibly that kind of situation happening last week, I would have been at least okay with that. But they at least explained why all of this is happening. Hangman feels like he owe Samoa Joe everything, or at least a title match because of everything that happened at All In, them helping him out along with many others to get the title back into the grasp of AEW and not just the Death Riders. Well, Samoa Joe, he's like, I don't care. Look, at the end of the day, we did this for ourselves because we just want the title back, at least in somebody's hands that we can at least go after and not like be jumped 15-1. So at the end of the day, this is a perfectly fine explanation for me. And at least they gave us an explanation as to why. And now Samoa Joe's just trying to collect the debt that Hangman Adam Page is owed. And at the end of the day, I don't know if it happens at Wrestle Dream or not. But regardless, it's going to be a fine match for what it's ending up being. And I actually would not mind seeing Samoa Joe become the AEW World Champion again. I just don't think it's going to be happening in about a week or so. That's just me, though.
We'll definitely have to see. Now, this is the portion of the show where it kind of goes off the rails for me. Next, we had Alicia with the Conglomeration. And I think you both know how I feel about Conglomeration promos. They're normally just nonsense. Okay, so you have Kyle O'Reilly taking on Kyle Fletcher for the TNT Championship. Literally in this promo, he literally says he hates anyone else named Kyle. So if he has to hear "Let's go Kyle," he's gonna lose it. Like, but your name's Kyle too, though. I don't understand that. I literally can't make this up. That's just what he said. So I don't know. Again, they made, Mark Briscoe said something about how they didn't like how Kyle Fletcher attacked Hologram, took him out and whatnot have you, blah, 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 blah. This promo really didn't accomplish much of anything other than to, again, hype the main event with Orange Cassidy and Pac, and of course the TNT Championship match with Kyle O'Reilly and Kyle Fletcher. So moving on from there, we had, I think probably for the third time since the G1 climax in 2019. We have Tomohiro Ishii versus Jon Moxley. Now, I don't know about you two, but I'm honestly tired of seeing these two face each other. It always seems like it's just one-off after one-off after one-off, but then they somehow always end up facing each other again. I think they do primarily they open their matches the same way that they do every single time, with the trading of the forearms and whatnot have you. It's the same thing over and over and over again with these two. This match was okay. Again, it doesn't do anything for me because I've seen these two enough to kind of know where it's going, which is nowhere, I guess. Of course, Jon Moxley wins this match. I didn't expect Ishii to win this match. He wins via submission. And that was pretty much that. I mean, somebody's going to like this match. Somebody's going to be ranting and raving about this on Twitter, but it's not something to rant and rave about, in my opinion. So I'm going to get you guys' thoughts on Jon Moxley versus Ishii. Phil, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, the Conglomeration are going to do conglomeration things. Yes. And Mark Briscoe is going to say whatever kind of Mark Briscoe thinks he needs to say in order to try to get the Conglomeration to work. The Kyle versus Kyle thing, I get the play on them being named the exact same name, but it's just not for me. And then just the overall match itself between Ishii and Moxley, it's a hard-hitting match. Obviously, like you said, some people are going to be ranting and raving about it because that kind of hardcore, not hardcore, but that hard fighting type of style is for some people. It's not for some others. It wasn't a bad match by any means to me. It's just at the end of the day, it's Death Rider stuff with Conglomeration stuff, and at the end of the day, I'm not realistically interested in either formation of the groups right now. So it's just, it is what it is. I feel like I said Ishii a couple of weeks ago, and then all of a sudden he just spawned out of nowhere. So I guess I should just...
As soon as I seen him, I definitely thought of you. I was like, wow, he talked him up.
I just spawned him out of thin air, apparently. But regardless, it is what it is. And the match is fine for what it ultimately ended up being. Nothing too major, though.
Mike?
I agree. The match was what it was. Again, I said it when Jon Moxley lost the world title that I think it would have been beneficial for him to go away for a while and us not see him. Not necessarily the whole Death Riders go away, but just him.
Yeah.
When they cut that promo before the match last night, did you guys notice what Moxley did? Okay. They have 3 young guys in the group. Impact, Daniel Garcia, and Wheeler Yuta. Mox didn't say anything. Claudio didn't say anything. They stood in the back and they let the young guys talk. They took control of that promo.
So you're talking about the promo in the parking lot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if Tony Khan's worry is that Jon Moxley needs to be on TV in order for this group to work, I think last night's promo definitely showed that they don't need him there all the time. And he could have went away for a while after losing the world title. Could have. And now he's prepping for a match against Darby Allin. I mean, it seems like they keep putting Jon Moxley in these situations to where they can make this work for the story, and they're just not pulling the trigger on it. And for him to have yet another match on Dynamite that meant absolutely nothing. I mean, good match, cool. But this is TV time you could have used to further any storylines that are much bigger than this one with Darby Allin, because Darby Allin was nowhere to be seen during this.
Yeah.
So what was the sense of having Moxley on TV taking on a member of the conglomeration? What was the point? Nothing. So it was a good match for what it was. I liked the promo though with the 3 young guys. I did. I liked that promo.
Well, you were actually ahead of us, sir. But we'll get
I thought that promo happened beforehand.
That was the main event. That was the main event promo before Pac and his match with Orange.
Oh,
but you're fine. We'll get there.
Okay.
It was still a solid promo, and it's still kind of fitted with everything.
Sorry.
You're good.
You're fine.
You're fine. That's why when you said the 3 young guys, I was like, I'm lost. What are you talking about? But yeah, no, we'll get there. Moving on. We had Renee with the Young Bucks. They speak on obviously being laid out by the reformed, reunited Jurassic Express twice. Matt says they have 2 tickets to watch the match ringside. Nick kind of like cut off Matt from saying that, like, you're not supposed to say that. You're not supposed to tell them that we bought tickets and whatnot have you. Meanwhile, he's literally banging on Tony Khan's door, trying to get them a money tag team match or whatever. Again, like I said, they're still, driving this home that, they are the broke bucks now or whatever, since they gambled all their money away and whatnot have you. Again, like I said, it's somebody's cup of tea. For me, again, it's the well is running dry on that whole comedic shtick for them. I would much rather them just go back to, the founding fathers thing or whatever.
We need serious
I get
or something.
Exactly. I know. I get they can't be, the EVPs, they lost all titles, whatever, and story, aspect, whatever. But just get something more serious, because this just feels like filler for them, I guess. It feels like it's kind of beneath them. They're doing their thing. I mean, some segments, it's like, oh, yeah, okay, I got a chuckle or two. Okay, that's kind of fun. But other weeks is just like, okay, we kind of get the point already. You're kind of beating a dead horse with this whole broke bucks thing. So I mean, I don't know what the end
this
goal
isn't
here
creating
is,
us for them, if that's what they're trying to do.
No.
Like, it's not creating sympathy in any way, or it's not just it's not making us want to cheer them more because they want money. No.
No, they're heels, so that's not going to work. So
like if you're trying to make them baby faces, that's not the way they're going to do it. And
I don't think so. No.
And if anything, you're going to have to do a lot more to get them on that side of the defense again, because of everything that's happened.
I agree. The next thing we saw a video package, a very well put together video package, detailing the new women's champions' accomplishments. Those being the first to hold the TBS championship and the women's championship, and the most wins at 110, just to name a few. So again, to double down, even triple down on what I had said last week, I really don't see them kind of just doing away with Kris Statlander on her first real big defense against Toni Storm. to me, even after this video package, it realistically feels like they're doing this one-on-one. It almost feels like a passing of the torch from Tony to Chris Statlander. That's the way I see it. I think they're going to give Chris Statlander a little bit of a run here. I don't know for how long, but I definitely think they are dead set on pushing Chris Statlander. I could be wrong, and they could completely shock me and have her drop the title back to Toni Storm. I don't think that's the move, but for right now, that's what I'm thinking. I think they're dead set on giving her a sizable push with that championship. Moving on from that, we had our next
that,
match.
by the way. I like that video.
The video package.
That video was great.
It was great. It was awesome. You finally highlighted Chris Statlander, somebody who is, I guess I would say an original. She's been there since the beginning.
She's been there since day one.
So she's finally getting her spotlight. She's finally getting her spotlight that I think she so rightfully deserves. So good on AEW, I guess, for highlighting Chris Statlander. But our next match was the street fight with the Hurt Syndicate versus the Demand. The Hurt Syndicate, they came out in suits without the suit jackets, which I thought was weird. It just looks uncomfortable to wrestle in suits.
Just show up in a street fight in business attire. It kind of crazy.
Whatever. I'm gonna let them do them if that's what they want to do, but just looks uncomfortable. But this match honestly was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I mean, it was okay. You had a few good, exciting spots here. You had a rough spot with that shooting star press from Ricochet, and the table didn't break. That looked awkward.
Yeah, that was bad.
But overall, I mean, I didn't think this was all that bad. Of course, the Hurt Syndicate won, which obviously was the right decision. We talked about that last week of how, I mean, they're going to lose some kind of credibility. I mean, they come out, they say they hurt people every week, and then they lose to some newly formed group called the Demand. It's just like, that's not really a good look. So I don't know if we're done here with the Demand. I could see them doing another match. I hope not, because this feud's realistically going nowhere. But like I said, the Hurt Syndicate are now are fully being pushed as baby faces, which, I mean, it took them long enough because the crowd's been behind them since pretty much day one. They sing their music in their theme song every time they come out. So keeping them as baby faces, I think, is the move. They made the right decision here with having the Hurt Syndicate win. Not a bad match, as opposed to what I thought we were going to get here. So I liked it. Fun little 6-man tag match. Let me get you guys' thoughts on this match. Mike, I'm going to start with you.
I mean, do I think they're done? No. I think we'll get another match from them between these two teams, because it seems to be that little rivalry that can fill spots when need so on TV. That's where the problem lies, though, is with having so many guys and girls in the locker room that they can use to put on TV. And you're going to throw these guys in matches week by week, every other week, whatever, even if it's once a month. It's something that they can go back to. So this feud is probably going to be one of those never-ending feuds until one of these teams finds something else to latch onto. And then this feud is just going to go away. I don't see this feud having any type of big ending to it, any type of blow off or anything like that. It's just going to be a continuing thing. It was a good match. I agree with you. It's uncomfortable to see somebody come out and try and wrestle in suits. It is. Like, I mean, for somebody that doesn't like to wear, I'll be honest, I don't like to wear suits. Even like special occasion things. Give me some jeans and a t-shirt and I'm good to go. Like, or a nice shirt. But a suit, can't do it. Can't. And it looks so uncomfortable. It's almost like you wanted to yell at your TV and say, can you go to the back and just throw some wrestling gear on, please? Like something. So it wasn't a bad match, though. But this feud's not going to be done until one of these teams finds something else to latch on to.
Phil?
The last thing I'd be wanting to fight in is in a suit. That's one of the first real things that I thought of when I saw the Syndicate come out there for the street fight. The thing is that this has to end. To me, if anything, this should just be this should be done and over with. I know it's most likely not going to be, because like Mike said, I can totally see a world where they're just gonna cling on to each other until something else happens to either one team in order to get them into the next thing that they got going on. But this should just be it. I want better for Bobby. I want better for Shelton. Heck, honestly, at the end of the day, I didn't expect to like the makeup of the demand of Ricochet and the Gates of Agony, but I kind of want a little bit more for them as well. Like, and that's not realistically something I thought I was going to be saying coming out of this, you know? So I just think all of them need to go their separate ways and do something better long term for all of them involved. The table spot was rough. I'll say that table spot was rough. AEW either needs to just invest in better tables, or they just need to figure something else out in terms of just how those kind of spots need to be maneuvered moving forward. I don't know, but the match was not as bad as I thought it was going to end up being, like you said. And Syndicate winning was the ultimate right choice because they needed it. Ricochet and the Gates of Agony are going to be fine in whatever kind of loss this is, and they'll do whatever they need to do moving forward.
I was literally about to react to Phil and say, look, Phil, we try our best on Monday nights, okay? We can't always have, bangers because Monday Night Raw doesn't give us much. So, but then I'm like, oh, wait, he's talking about the match, because our show on Monday night is called The Table Spot.
Oh, got it. Okay.
By the way, Virgo, just to give you the proof, your second one tonight. There you go.
We got another one.
Virgo now has her own award for the Table Spot Awards this year that we do in December. And me and Cam are going to vote what her best name was between the two shows on Monday and Wednesday. So
I like it.
This is the book just for her thing. Just for her category.
But yeah, I definitely don't think like I said, for me, I'm with Phil. I hope this is over, but it doesn't feel like it is. So we might get at least one more match. Moving on from there, we had our next match with again the reuniting Jurassic Express. I don't even know who they faced. I don't know if we got their names.
Just two randoms.
Yeah. So they faced some locals, I guess. Again, this is you blink and you miss it. They absolutely massacred these two poor young souls. And that was that. I mean, this was realistically just a match. This was like a warm-up match just to realistically get them back in the swing of things. Their first time being back together as a tag team and whatnot have you. They did show Matt and Nick in the stands, but they were like in like a far corner somewhere or whatever. Once again, like I said, just driving home that they're the broke bucks. They can't afford ringside seats.
They're on the hard cam side, but at the top of the bleacher section, sitting next to two kids, and then the commentator was just going off about the kids. Like Brian was asking, like, where the heck are their parents, and like what's happening with these guys? Like, why are they here? Like, just ridiculousness. But yeah, we're trying to do it
now. Virgo, you got to say it now. You can't just make a comment like that and not. I don't know about you guys, but I think she's just got to say it now. Like, this is going to bother me. Like, I will literally, until she says it, I'll fucking message her after the show and be like, what were you going to say? Like, this is going to bother me all night if she doesn't say it.
I would say save it for Monday.
You can. Yeah, that's
Monday may or may not be a good show. And that would cheer us up.
Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with that. You ease my mind a little bit because I will sit here and let that shit reel until I know what it is. You know that, Cam, very, very well.
So,
thank you.
If it's that good, I would say wait till Monday. So, yes, I do know.
Okay,
yes.
Okay.
I know first.
Okay. So we went from me having the little itch in my brain of knowing what you were going to say to the curiosity, but the excitement and the buildup. So the buildup better be good. Because if it's not,
I think it's gonna be good if she's building up that much.
I trust it. I'll trust it. I will.
But after of course Jurassic Express easily disposes of their opponents, they get attacked by the Young Bucks, the EVP trigger to Luchasaurus, and of course the super kick party to Jack Perry. They then throw out the challenge for a Wrestle Dream tag team match against Jurassic Express. We later in the program we see the graphic where the match has been officially been made, but now this match is actually for $500,000. Why? I have no clue. I think it's just
the money match that they wanted.
Again, that's and that makes sense. But again, that's more of a Young Bucks thing. To involve Jurassic Express in that is not the move, because it just makes them look goofy in a sense. Like it's just that they have no involvement with that really. We still don't even realistically have the explanation as to why Jack Perry and Luchasaurus are even back together in the first place. Because last time we saw them, they were actually facing each other. What happened with the matriarchy, patriarchy, whatever they're going by now, and Kill Switch, aka Luchasaurus? We're probably not gonna get an explanation from that.
They got demoted to Ring of Honor.
We're not gonna get probably.
You probably did.
we're not gonna get the explanation of Jack Perry and this whole redemption story as the move that I thought we should go with, and what his beef is with the Young Bucks. We can all sit here and basically speculate. My speculation is probably when the Bucks went away on their short sabbatical or whatever, however many months ago that was, Jack Perry may have felt like they just abandoned him, essentially, just left him to fend for himself. I don't know. So
basically what they were talking about on their YouTube. It's pretty much what you said.
And that's the thing is, if you go back to and I've been saying this, if AEW starts bringing back how they used to do things before things kind of went down in the drain, then I think they would start seeing some success. That's what they did when they first started, was they built their storylines through their YouTube show.
Yeah,
that's what they did before they got on regular television each week and built storylines on television.
ETE was canon.
ET, yeah, I mean that was where they built the storylines for the pay-per-views leading up to October 2019.
Yeah,
and then they got on TV and they were able to build the storylines on TV, but they still did it through BTE. Like they still built storylines because they would include stuff that happened on TV on their YouTube show. So I'm not against that, to the fact of the thought of, oh, hey, like the Bucks went on the sabbatical, they abandoned him. The one thing I don't like is the fact it's okay to go back to Jurassic Express because that was their name. And you have Luchasaurus, who's a dinosaur, basically. So the name sticks. But Jack Perry, it's almost like he threw away the whole Jungle Boy Jack Perry thing. And yeah, now he's Jungle Jack Perry, but he's still coming out in the stuff that he was wearing when he was with the Elite. So those two things don't necessarily make sense unless his new persona, instead of being this Tarzan boy type-esque person, he's now like a hunter. And he's hunting in the jungle. Because he does have the knife pouch on.
Yes. So I'm glad you brought up his ring gear, because I was going to bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's more so a combination of Scapegoat and Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
Because his boots are the same kind of boots he was wearing when he was Jungle Boy, known as Jungle Boy. So I think it's kind of a combination of the two, honestly. And I think it's just he's kind of evolving the Jungle Boy-esque character. So now I think he's not just a Tarzan character. I do think he is kind of more like a hunter. So that's a good point.
And maybe that's what the whole thing is now, is instead of it, like the wonder of like, yeah, you wonder the patriarchy. Those guys probably got demoted down to Ring of Honor, because last we knew was Nick Wayne was the television champion down in Ring of Honor.
True.
Yeah.
They probably went to Ring of Honor because Christian was with Copeland the past couple months or weeks, whatever. And so that's where they probably went. And Kill Switch, he broke away from the group. And Jack Perry was the one to bring him back. So he revived Luchasaurus. And now that's probably what it is it's the evolution of Jack Perry. And that's why, at first the Jungle Jack Perry thing, it still kind of bothers me because you got so used to just Jack Perry. But it all makes sense now. It's almost like Luchasaurus is like his, what's that video game that involved, like, it was war, but dinosaurs and everything. I'm trying to think of the video game name. It started with a T. I forgot the
God, I
name of it.
remember. I just can't.
You know what I'm talking about. You
I
did the
know
name's
exactly.
like right there.
Exactly what you're talking about.
Something like that,
Yeah, but-
because you had like dinosaurs helping you out in that game.
Yeah.
And that's basically
That's gonna bother me now. Thanks, Mike.
I'll get the answer. It'll
But
take me 2 seconds to find the answer.
but just for me, just for speaking on this for a second, the thing is, when I heard them say Jungle Jack Perry, I was very much like taken aback by that for a second, because I was like, wait a minute, I don't, I actually even mentioned it to you last week, Ken, that he was in an interview he said that he would never go back to Jungle Boy, like as the name Jungle Boy. But then all of a sudden they said Jungle Jack Perry, and I was like, okay, wait a minute, he's still technically kind of doing the thing, but like you said, it's kind of a mixture of the two with Jungle Boy kind of persona
Turok.
going on. Huh? What's that?
Turok.
That's it. I remember that now. With kind of a mixture of what he had going on with the Jungle Boy character mixed with the Jack Perry. So, he's built a lot of equity with the Jack Perry name. So obviously he's still going to go by that. And the fact of the matter is he's so much better in this kind of like role right now with all of this. I first of all just love that they're back together. At the end of the day, it is kind of weird in terms of the context of like just how it all came about, but we've all said on this show that going back to like yesteryear type of mentality for AEW in some instances is just going to work. It's going to get people back on track with this company. This is just only part of that. The $500,000 type aspect to this match, I realistically don't care about the money. Whether it's fake or whether it's real, like I just simply do not care. But they're just doing the whole thing with the Young Bucks and Jack Perry type of dynamic. They probably did something on YouTube in order to kind of build up to this whole entire thing. And do I kind of want to go to YouTube in 2025 just so that I can get more context on a story rather than just showing it on your actual television program? I'd like to actually see it on the television program, but if they're actually going to be making BTE or something more important of that, then people from yesteryear, if they do that, they might want to go back into that again. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll definitely have to see on that aspect. But yeah, a lot of moving parts there, I think, with Jurassic Express and the Young Bucks right now. Moving on from that,
they had beach balls too, which was kind of interesting.
Yeah,
I was like,
those beach balls were cool.
I was like, that's actually kind of really cool.
Kind of want one.
kind of
lie.
kind of a throwback, because I know WWE did that a lot too back in the day. But I think that was just more so fans bringing them in.
Well, no, fans brought them because they were bored at the
Yeah.
show, so they were just trying to make their own fun. And then Cesaro went in there, popped the beach ball, and then it just kind of went crazy with Claudio and beach balls. So if they ever do the Death Riders and Jurassic Express, they gotta recall that. They got to. I'm sorry. They just gotta go in there, pop a beach ball, get the heat on Claudio, and call it a night.
That definitely would blow up on Twitter, because I know Twitter would be
get the heat on Claudio and call it a night.
But when the next thing we saw, of course, to what Mike was referencing earlier, we got the Death Riders promo with Pac. He says he will out wrestle and outclass Orange Cassidy. Now, here's the interesting part about this. Yuta and Garcia basically say they are basically refocusing. They're refocusing on winning. They're going to win this week. They're going to win next week and moving forward, because they are winners, according to Garcia. Which of course, kind of makes you wonder, what have they won as a group in a while? They're 0-2 in their last multi-man, matches, but whatever. I kind of like that though. I can't believe I'm saying that. I'm actually liking something about the Death Riders for once. It feels like, and I could be wrong, this could be nothing, I could be overthinking this, but it feels like this group is kind of refocusing on an ultimate goal, which is what they desperately need, I think, if they want to add something new. Now, again, whether that plays out or not, whether or not I'm just overthinking this, I don't know yet. But that's the feeling I got from this promo. Very well done. I like how like piece by piece they all kind of just walked off in their own separate directions, and then only like I think it was on like Marina, Garcia, and Pac was just left standing there menacingly. So that was kind of cool too. So I don't know. For once, I'm actually sort of liking something about the Death Riders. It's just whether or not they actually move forward with it or not. I don't know.
They highlighted the young guys.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying a couple minutes ago was they highlighted the young guys. Claudio and Mox kept their piece to their own, stood in the back and let those guys shine. And then, like you said, seeing those guys just go off onto their own, but then those three guys walk off together. It's almost like it's not like saying that these three guys are going to take over the group, but it's like saying, okay, Mox and Claudio are there for these guys. They got their back, but it's time for these guys to probably walk on their own. Kind of walk on their own and see if they can handle things on their own. And I think they could have tested this a while ago, like when Mox lost the world title and should have went away for a little bit. But better late than never, I guess. Maybe. So I'm with you. I was excited about this promo. I actually really liked this promo, and it was refreshing because we didn't have to hear Moxley talk. We hardly hear Claudio talk. It's all Moxley that's running his mouth. We got to hear the other guys, and they all gave themselves a respective amount of time to talk. It was like, Pac talked, and then Daniel Garcia talked, and then it was like, tell him, Yuta, and then Yuta talked, and they didn't step over each other, and it was very refreshing to hear and really refreshing to see, and gave you a little bit of hope for this group that's been pretty much dead in the water for a while now.
I agree. Like I said, I don't know what's next for this group. Realistically, I don't. I mean, ultimately they have, Darby Allin and that match to look forward to, the I Quit match at Wrestle Dream next Saturday. But again, it just realistically felt like this group is finally refocusing on a new goal. So who knows? We'll have to see if that plays out or not.
I kind of have a little bit of not an issue, but I just saw this out of the just watching everybody. Like I was listening to all the words that were spoken between the three young men that were kind of leading this whole entire thing. But I was watching Mox and I was watching Claudio as well. And for some reason, I saw Claudio just with like that little side eye when Daniel was talking. I don't know if anybody kind of saw something like that, but
I did not see that. I didn't catch that at all.
There was some sort of a weird look that I thought that Claudio was making towards Daniel when he was talking about the wins and just how like winning is going to be kind of a major factor for the Death Riders now moving forward and all that, which is kind of the goal that you were referencing. I don't know. It just felt a little off to me. I'm not gonna like completely, I'm going to wait and see if it kind of develops any further, but it just felt a little weird for me.
I think it's more of the fact of Daniel Garcia is the unproven one in the group. He's the new guy. He wasn't able to win a lot of matches on his own. Now he's in this group all of a sudden. It's probably the fact of he has to prove his ground of winning matches, and Claudio right now is most likely in question of it. He's probably most likely in question of what he said about winning, because Daniel Garcia, we didn't see him doing a lot of that.
If there's anybody that should be in question in terms of like where kind of alliances lie, it realistically should be Daniel Garcia. Like, I mean, he kind of just joined out of nowhere. So we'll see Yuta,
what about Yuta?
Yuta's been there.
Yuta's too far gone.
I mean,
he's been the most. If anybody's been unsuccessful in this group, it's been Yuta.
Yeah, but I mean, who kind of randomly just got in this thing out of nowhere? Daniel.
Yeah.
So Daniel's got to prove himself, like you said. So hopefully we'll see that, and he actually does.
Yuta seems to be he seems to be very comfortable being the.
He's just their lap dog right now. He is. He's been their lap dog. I mean,
he seems comfortable with it. I've seen no pushback whatsoever from him. So yeah.
He's always put into situations just to get his ass kicked. He gets his ass kicked, and no ramification comes of it until hopefully something actually does happen. And honestly, it should have happened a long time ago if there was.
Probably, but I don't know. We'll definitely have to see. We'll see if the side eye from Claudio to Garcia is actually something. We'll have to see. But the next match we saw was the TNT Championship match with Kyle Fletcher taking on Kyle O'Reilly. This match was amazing. This was a really good match. This is how the TNT Championship should be represented. This is how the TNT title should be represented. This is how it should be, presented to us, the fans. This is how you get that championship and build its prestige back up. This was great. I like this match a lot. Again, like I said, nobody can realistically deny Kyle Fletcher's just ability in that ring. I think we've said that many times before. The guy is uber talented. It's just maybe his placement in this group, especially when they keep adding more people to the Don Callis family. It's almost like he's drowning under just all this talent that's in this group. He needs to be highlighted on his own, and I think he's more than capable to be highlighted on his own. Whether or not that happens anytime soon, I don't know. That remains to be seen. But this was a fantastic match, obviously. Again, the best TNT Championship match, I mean, to my memory that I've seen this year
in a
easily.
while.
In a while. After the match, of course, Kyle Fletcher retains the championship. After the match, Lance Archer attacks Kyle O'Reilly. Mark Briscoe and Ishii come for the save. Then a standoff between Briscoe and Fletcher might be Fletcher's next opponent. And of course, we go to break, come back after the break. And of course, there's a backstage segment where Fletcher then finds out that he will be defending his TNT championship against Mark Briscoe at Wrestle Dream next Saturday. So makes sense because, like I said, Mark Briscoe was just mentioning going after the TNT championship last week. So that makes sense. 2 and 2 just equals 4. So again, that makes perfect sense to me. I saw that coming. Realistically, him going after the TNT title. I think that'll be an okay match. You highlight Mark Briscoe, who has been on fire. Realistically, I mean, I like the MJF thing. I said this before. That was the first feud for Mark Briscoe that really felt like it was something different. It didn't just feel like a one-off match just for the sake of having a match for Mark Briscoe. That actually felt like I could finally get invested in something that he was actually
huge prove yourself type of match for him.
Exactly.
And he did.
So he definitely did. So I definitely like that. And I think he's going to kill it against Kyle Fletcher. So this is another big opportunity for him as well. But I'm going to get you guys' thoughts on the match. Kyle Fletcher versus Kyle O'Reilly for the TNT Championship. Phil, I'm going to start with you.
The thing is that I really liked about this match is just the actual styles with everything. Kyle Fletcher, you guys know how big of a Kyle Fletcher guy I am, but what Kyle O'Reilly did in this as a solo act was awesome for me. Because I've always known that Kyle O'Reilly was a really solid in-ring performer and a really solid in-ring worker. But just this kind of profile with the TNT title on the line, it just felt like this was right. This was the kind of stage that the TNT Championship should be represented in. And I just like the overall style of the match, the overall workings of how everything kind of went down between the two men. The overall actual kind of interwoven type of story that they were trying to tell in the ring, actually in the match itself with the brain buster, the knee, and all that kind of stuff. So honestly, it's just a really good in-ring match between the two. And with Mark Briscoe again, the TNT title match at Wrestle Dream, I mean, it just makes sense. Like you said, 2 and 2 is 4. They mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, or even last week, about Mark Briscoe going after the TNT title. He's in this kind of spot right now to where he can actually contend for these championships and actually feel like a legitimate threat. And I'm not saying that he wasn't a legitimate threat before, but ever since the MJF stuff kind of happened, he just kind of felt like a whole new kind of person and a whole new beast in a sense. So this is just a whole new different kind of Mark Briscoe for me. And we're going to get a solid match out of the two, but let's just see how Kyle Fletcher and the TNT Championship reign moves forward. I liked it a lot.
Mike?
I'm going to be the one to say it. I have a problem with Mark Briscoe going after the title.
Okay.
I do. I have a problem with it.
Okay.
Reason why I have a problem with it is because you had him go out and win this high-profile match against MJF at the last pay-per-view, started giving him this boost, And now you're going to have him go to Wrestle Dream and challenge for the TNT Championship and most likely not walk out with it. What was the point of having him beat MJF if you're not going to have him go and win a championship at your next pay-per-view against Kyle Fletcher? Like, you would think he would, lose to MJF, and the shock happened that he beat him. So he should be able to go out and beat Kyle Fletcher. But with the run that Kyle Fletcher's having with the TNT title right now, I don't see it happening. And I could be completely wrong on this. But I feel like they backed Mark Briscoe into a corner again. They light a fire under him, have him hot, have him going, and then bam, knock back down to size. Only to pick him back up, beat MJF, start on this hot streak again, and then bam, he's going to get knocked right back down to size at Wrestle Dream. Their best bet would be to have Mark Briscoe defeat him for the TNT title. Cam, you posed the question of who's going to beat Kyle Fletcher for the TNT title. It better be Mark Briscoe at Wrestle Dream. It better be. Because if not, then they need to stop trying to catch this fire with Mark Briscoe only to knock him back down to size when it matters. They need to stop doing that. I mean, I'm a Mark Briscoe fan. I like what the guy does. His promos are a little, cringy. I'm sitting there thinking, like, dude, what the fuck are you saying? But I like his style. I like how he works in the ring. I like the scrappiness. I think that's why I'm a big fan of him and the guys like Eddie Kingston, Hook. That's why I'm a big fan of guys like that. Tommy Dreamer. Because they're scrappy. I like that. But you got to give those scrappy guys a chance as well. You can't just toss them to the side because they have this deemed title over their head of being scrappy. Jon Moxley is probably the most high-profile scrappy guy in pro wrestling. And look at the heights he's gotten to. You're telling me you can't do things like that for Mark Briscoe at a smaller scale, like a TNT championship? Come on now.
They definitely can. It's just will they?
Yeah. And I feel like they're not going to. I feel like they backed him into a corner.
We'll definitely have to see. I don't know. You definitely do have a point. I mean, with him constantly, seems like he's climbing the ranks, and then they just kind of put him back in the same position he started at when he started to climb the ranks. So
yeah,
I could definitely see them putting the TNT Championship on him at some point. Will he beat Kyle Fletcher at Wrestle Dream? Probably not, because I think Kyle Fletcher is the one to sort of build up that TNT title once again. So probably not. The next match we had, of course, Mercedes Moné in an open challenge for a TBS Women's Championship against what was billed as a Florida mystery opponent. That turned out to be none other than Lacey Lane, formerly known as Caden Carter. This, I mean, it was just crickets. I mean, the crowd didn't really care. There was no pop really at all. That's sad for her. Now, if this means that her longtime tag team partner Casey is coming to AEW as well, and they are going to be gunning after those AEW women's tag team titles, I'm all for that. I think I would rather see that more than Lacey Lane on her own in a singles competition, to be completely honest with you.
1000%.
Yeah. But I mean, overall, this match wasn't that bad. It was good for what it was. So decent match. Again, like I said, more interested in a tag team for Lacey Lane. Of course, Mercedes Moné ends up picking up the victory and retaining the TBS championship. So once again, we're still wondering who is going to be the one to dethrone Mercedes Moné at the end of the day. But get you guys' thoughts on this match. Mike, I'm gonna start with you.
I like the name. I do. I like the Lacey Lane name. I mean, it's not her real name, but I like the name. I like it better than what she had in WWE. Even WWE name wasn't that bad, but her name in AEW, I like it. I do. I wasn't too excited about this match either. Just due to the fact that you knew this was a one-off. You knew that there was going to be no surprise to the fact that Mercedes was going to drop the TBS title to somebody who's just coming in and challenging her possibly for one night. The video package was amazing. Like,
Yeah.
kudos to AEW for the video package and the introduction, because there was probably some people in that crowd. Surprisingly enough, there are just people that watch AEW and don't watch WWE. So some people that were there probably did not know who she was. And they did a great job introducing her and letting you know, this is who I am. And you didn't have to have WWE video packages or anything like that to show you. They just did a straight up great job. As far as the match, it was okay. It was good for what it was. It was a one-off for Mercedes Moné to get a defense under her belt and continue doing whatever the fuck she's doing. You know, right now she's collecting belts. She's up to what, 9, 10?
9. She's
8,
going
I
after her
believe.
10.
8, I believe. I think she's going to her 9. I don't know. Either way, there's so many.
I think she's going after her 10th. I saw a report that said she's going after her.
Oh wait, that's right. She is trying to go to.
Yes.
I mean, nonetheless, she's doing what she's doing right now. Until we get to the point where she starts dropping the belts, we're just going to continue seeing Mercedes Moné go over each week, no matter who she faces. So, no expectations from this match whatsoever, but great job introducing Lacey Lane.
Phil?
The only thing I wanted to see was at least a good kind of showcase for Lacey. I think we got that, but the thing is, like you said, Cam, it was kind of rough just hearing the somewhat non-reaction to her. The thing is, like, I overall love the video package. Like Mike said, the video package was very well done. Voiced by Lacey herself. So honestly, that kind of made it even more intriguing for me, more impactful for me. But, you know, I just wanted to see at least a good showcase for her. And honestly, I didn't realistically think the match was overall that bad by any means. I think they honestly kind of worked well together. But the thing is, I'm just more interested in Lacey Lane in a tag team capacity. If by all means, if this actually means that we are going to be getting Casey Catanzaro alongside Lacey Lane to be a part of the growing women's tag team division in AEW to get to the inaugural tag team champions, I'm all for it. All for it. Give me Casey Catanzaro and Lacey Lane together as a tag team in AEW. That would fit incredibly well. What's that, Mike? What's up?
I was just going to say one little side note. Yesterday was the 500th day.
Yeah. Yep.
Of Mercedes being TBS.
Nine more days, and she's,
Jesus
I believe,
Christ.
at least tying Jade Cargill.
That's
So.
wild.
I'll have to see Jade Cargill's record. Let me look.
Or if it's either 9 to break it or 9 to tie it. Either way, she's catching up. She's going to break Jade Cargill.
She's breaking, yeah, for sure. At this point.
But
508 days. So she's on day 501. So she's 7 days away from tying, 8 days from breaking.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just crazy. But yeah, all I'm gonna say is, as long as this kind of just builds toward the tag team run for them, I'm all for it. She was actually used in Ring of Honor before. She faced Mina Shirakawa for like the interim women's TV championship or whatever the title is that Mina holds right now for Ring of Honor. So she was used in Ring of Honor before. It's just now this was just her first time in AEW Dynamite.
That's right. She did. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Guys, this dog is literally laying there still with the toy in the mouth, right? Her eyes are closed and his face is still facing me. Like,
Dear, that's terrifying for me. Like, that would be
so
terrifying for me.
Creepy. Like, I swear, Cam, she's plotting. She's plotting, man. Like, she will not. It's like she's doing this. She has the toy in her mouth, and she's just like, and I'm like, oh my god.
She's waiting for you to slip up.
I will say this though. One more thing about Lacey Lane on AEW. Bryan Danielson, I freaking love him.
Oh, great commentating.
Commentator.
Oh my god.
He put her over to the freaking moon and back.
He did. He really did.
And you know what? If the crowd didn't realistically care about Lacey Lane showing up for whatever reason, Bryan Danielson at least made me completely even more care about how Lacey Lane was doing in that match against Mercedes. So good on Brian.
If the crowd didn't care, Brian definitely did. That's for sure.
And the thing is, Brian's always kind of been an advocate for, for the women to kind of get a little bit more out there. And at the end of the day, they got the time that they got, and they worked well with it for what they had. But he made Lacey Lane at least look a lot more credible than a lot of people were at least thinking she was.
Well, they did work together in WWE as well for a short period of time. So, I mean, he knows her.
Oh yeah.
He probably even helped train her a little bit,
or at least kind of get her name into the door, even to get here, maybe.
Probably so. Yeah. But the next match, of course, we had Brodito versus Takeshita and Okada. This is an eliminator match. If Takeshita and Okada were to win this match, they get a World Tag Team title match. Depending on who would pin Okada, they would also get a unified championship match.
Yeah.
Bandito came into this match injured. He injured his shoulder at a CMLL show before this match had happened. So he comes in and he comes in and he's all taped up or whatnot have you. So that was definitely a big story and played a factor in affecting his moveset during the course of this match. Like I said, this was a fun tag team match once again. Like I said, Brodito's obviously killing it right now. They are the probably the biggest thing going right now for that tag team division. There's not a whole lot going on right now. So again, they're good. They're a great tag team. We always keep talking about what their ceiling realistically is. They might have a little bit more life than I think a lot of us are thinking with these tag team titles for right now. Now, surprisingly, the closing moments of this match, this is the most interesting part of this match, in my opinion. Of course, Okada blind tags himself into the match, tagging out Takeshita, comes in, hits the Rainmaker on Bandito for the 1-2-3, and now Takeshita and Okada have a World Tag Team title match at Wrestle Dream. I kind of like it. I didn't think I was going to like that very much, but I kind of like it just because of the fact that, you have that story going into it, whether or not these two are going to coexist. I think we both know they're not. I think for the duration of the match, they might, but there's going to be some kind of miscommunication or a shoving match or something of that, or maybe Takeshita just flat out. He either walks out or just flat out just lays out Okada and leaves him to the wolves, essentially, for Brodito to ultimately pick up the win here. So who knows? But I like that aspect because they have a few different routes they could go. I mean the real shock and all is if you were to have Takeshita and Okada win the tag team titles, because then you have that tag team that doesn't really get along. And it's like, okay, well, how long are these guys going to have the tag team titles? And then you could easily go back to Brodito and put the tag team titles back on them, with Takeshita, turning on Okada, or Okada turning on Takeshita, whatnot have you. So they have a little bit of cushion, a little bit of interest, I guess, in me, depending on what route they really take, Takeshita and Okada. All I do know is that I think we all know that this is the prelude to finally getting to Takeshita and Okada for the Unified Championship, which all of us have been begging to get. I think that's going to be a banger when we eventually do get that match. But I'm going to get you guys' thoughts on this tag team match, Brodito versus Takeshita and Okada. Mike, I'm starting with
you. This was a match where it could have gone either way. It wasn't set up to where it was. Here's the thing: you get a lot of those matches, these qualifying matches, to where who's going to win before the bell even rings. This was one of those matches where you didn't know because of how hot Brodito is right now. They could have went in and won this match and ended up having different challengers at Wrestle Dream if they would have had different challengers. But again, the injury to I call him Brodito. Bandito.
Yeah.
Names tonight. Yeah. The injury to Bandito obviously was effective. I'm with you. I agree. I like this tag team of Takeshita and Okada. It would be interesting to see them become tag team champions, but at the same time, we get like that build of the little rivalry-esque for the unified title.
Yeah.
Like it's almost going to be like an inner Don Callis family rivalry to where these guys are tag champions, but they're both solely focused on that unified title. Like, it would be cool to see that story progress while still being tag team champions. But then we get to the point where, Takeshita or Okada, one of them can turn on the other during a tag team title match, and they end up losing them, and then we end up getting that match coming up at whatever pay-per-view. I mean, we got World's End in December that they can do it at. They can do it at Full Gear. I'd rather see them build a nice story to lead us into World's End opposed to doing it at Full Gear.
I do World's End for sure.
Yeah.
It would be a little more beneficial to have a big story build between Okada and Takeshita opposed to a short-term story for a month to get us to Full Gear.
Yeah.
So put the tag belts on them, get this inner Don Callis family story started, and build up to World's End. They can lose the tag titles at 2 weeks before World's End. They don't even have to lose them at Full Gear. Just lose them 2 weeks before World's End on a night, Dynamite night, and then get us into that match at World's End.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that would be interesting. That would definitely be interesting. I think so. So I'm liking where they're going with it right now. Phil, your thoughts?
I'm fully into the kind of idea of what you guys are laying out with them winning the tag team titles and all of that. I just think they're gonna go the more simpler route and just have them lose ultimately. Just walk out on the other or whatever. Okada's got to be the one to technically be the one to walk out in a sense, because Takeshita, he's just the guy that people just want to see get a championship and everything. So Takeshita is obviously going to be the guy that the people are just going to be cheering for. But I'm 100% behind you guys in the them winning the tag team titles ultimately kind of fall in the end. That would just be a really cool way to go. And honestly, I was honestly kind of the most interested in this match out of everything that happened on the card because of the whole double stipulation kind of deal with everything, with the two eliminator type aspect to this. Now it just ultimately sucks that we're not going to be getting the defending of the unified championship. And at the end of the day, that really doesn't matter at this point, considering what the story that they're trying to tell between Takeshita and Okada to ultimately lead to a unified championship match down the future. So, this is going to be honestly really good, regardless of however the outcome is going to be for the tag team title match. And honestly, they built this up really well. So good on AEW for that.
Of course, Brodito backstage, reassures the audience that they will retain and walk out of Wrestle Dream, still the AEW World Tag Team Champions. But gentlemen, we have reached the main event. The main event saw Pac taking on Orange Cassidy. First of all, as I was telling Mike when I was watching this last night, Pac is in ridiculous shape. That's crazy. Like, what in the world? That's it don't even look real. Like, how is that possible?
Your specific words were, he's in such a jacked shape, such jack shaped, it should be illegal.
It should be.
It legitimately should.
It
legitimately should. His regimen in terms of just like his overall ability to just work out and just be that damn like in shape is just incredible. Whatever kind of workout regimen he's on,
it's insane. Absolutely freaking insane. He's probably got the best. He's probably got the best physique, other than probably maybe Brian Cage and Bobby Lashley. Maybe he's probably got one of the best physiques in AEW.
And I've always liked his in-ring style too. He's got that mixed high flying aspect along with just this ground, like hard hitting type of thing that we all know Pac can do. Like Pac is just so damn good.
Yeah, he's definitely a hybrid, of a couple different styles.
Even when he was Neville back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Even when he was Neville back in the day, man, like when that near fall happened on Seth Rollins, that one WWE championship match, and the crowd went nuts, I was like, this dude can honestly be a huge star. Like, they could honestly have something for him if they ever really wanted to go down the route. Obviously, WWE technically, realistically, didn't totally work out for him until the whole King of the Cruiserweights thing happened, and that was fantastic for him too. Yeah. Which, honestly, the King of the Cruiserweight was just a precursor to Pac in my eyes.
It was.
And it ultimately kind of worked with him to get to AEW Pac, and now we see him today. So honestly, a really good trajectory for the career of Pac so far. I love him.
So speaking of just the overall body of work of Pac and how great he is, you remember when I was telling you how I felt like there's something missing with Orange Cassidy, and I get it. He's still fresh coming back, right? But it feels like something's missing. This match was like, okay, this brought me back to just the Orange Cassidy that I
to the OC
feel
day.
like. Yes, this was it. I think Pac is just that good that he just brought out just that Orange Cassidy, because we know he can go. I mean, like I said, he's got that unorthodox gimmick or whatever, but when that bell rings, Orange Cassidy can definitely go as well.
I attribute this also to Daly's place.
Yeah, I mean,
Daly's place. There's just something different about AEW in that venue, man. There is.
Yeah, I could definitely see that as well. But no, this was a fantastic match, honestly. I could see Pac and Orange Cassidy a bunch of times and just never realistically get tired of it.
I believe this is their 5th time.
Yeah, and they've all been bangers. So I mean, they just produce really good matches. They have great chemistry in that ring. So this is great. This is probably one of the best Dynamite matches probably in the past couple of months. I would say the best moment of the match was when the closing moments of the match, I should say, and the best was when Pac hit a tombstone pile driver on Orange Cassidy on the outside of the ring. Then that's when we did see Darby Allin. We didn't see Darby Allin during the course of the Jon Moxley match. We definitely saw him in this. He basically handcuffed Pac to the guardrail to prevent him from getting back in the ring. He escaped that and narrowly beat the 10 count. Of course, he got back in the ring and then it ultimately ended up getting pinned by Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy picks up the victory here. After the match, Pac pursues Darby Allin. He gets sprayed in the face, maced in the face with whatever that was that Darby Allin sprayed him in the face with. He quickly disposes, sending Yuta flying over the announcer's desk very easily. He threatens the rest of the Death Riders with a freaking taser. I don't know where he got a taser from. And then he ultimately was at the entrance of Daly's place as security is flooded out to try to separate them. He threatens them with a freaking Molotov. Again, I don't know where he's getting these things. I don't know why he has access to these things. He's a maniac. He should not have access to these things.
Flamethrower, random fire, Molotov, taser.
Like,
why?
Where are you getting these things?
Search him. You have security there for a reason.
It's absolutely insane. But then the freaking one of the security guards comes in like a freaking linebacker and just tackles Darby Allin. I thought that was another Death Riders member. That's what I
thought. That was a fan at first. I was like, what the hell happened?
Speared him. He speared his lungs through his chest. So stopping him from setting off a Molotov or whatever. And then we go off the air from that. So again, an exciting way to go off the air for Title Tuesday. And again, I'm nervous on what is going to happen in this I Quit match with Darby Allin and Jon Moxley.
He's legitimately going to try to set the man on fire or kill
him. Probably.
That security guard was a show off. It's like he knew he was getting his 10 seconds or 15 seconds of fame, so he was like, I'm going to make it worth it. Darby! Boom! Like,
he's gonna try to do the best spear possible so he can get signed somewhere.
And he did good too. Like, it wasn't a bad tackle. Like, he legitimately, forming everything, just fucked Darby Allin up. Like, God, what a show off. Like, I don't know who was showing off more, Pac or that security guard.
He'll be a security guard in WWE next week or something.
I mean, hey, whatever. Like, but no, Pac looked good. I'll say this right now. Why wear a top to your gear if you're just going to fucking take the straps down anyways? Like, just wear the bottoms. Like, there was no point of wearing the somewhat
the physique, bro.
It's like wearing the beach tank top made no fucking sense halfway through this match because you just took the straps down and just showed off anyways. So why make it part of your gear?
Wearing like a singlet just looks kind of weird.
Stupid. It looked weird, and with the short hair, it just didn't look any better.
Behind the hair too. The hair is just
weird.
I kind of got used to it by the end of the night. I was like, all right, the singlet was what bothered me the most out of the whole look. And then once he just dropped the fucking beach top down, I was like, okay, now that's your look. Stick with that. That's better. But the beach top, I get it. You're trying to look jacked and everything, but dude, drop it. Let's just let it go. Match wasn't bad though. The whole thing with Darby Allin is, I mean, he's a nut. That's bottom line. I mean, let's just put it this way: the words that I want to say will get us canceled, and I don't want to say them. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Darby does Darby things, and that's just how it is.
Yeah. Sure, we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
You gotta say it outside the show, though, because man, I'm curious now.
No, I'll end up forgetting in the next 5 minutes.
Damn it!
The way my brain works.
Well, gentlemen, that is all I got for you for 10/7/2025. Today's 10/8/2025, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah. Now it is time to plug yourself. Phil, where can we find you?
TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, PhillyMan_. You guys will be able to catch some. I was thinking that AEW Wrestle Dream was this weekend. I was literally after this about to record predictions for the show. And then all of a sudden I looked and we only have 6 matches on the show. So at the end of the day, we're going to get 7 more. So I got to wait till next week.
Probably.
So I mean, just stay tuned to all the social channels. They're right there for you guys to follow. And you guys will be getting more content from me in terms of short form, long form. Just staying tuned with these social media and you'll find me there.
Mike?
Instagram, X, TikTok, Snapchat, Metal Mike 714. Here on the network on Mondays for the table spot. Here on Wednesdays with these two gentlemen after Dynamite for the Boom. And then on the Huddle Hub podcast on Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This weekend, though, Saturday, I'll be running the Huddle Hub at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because Cam will be away and I'll be away on Sunday. So Huddle Hub will be happening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday night. I'm going to talk about as much college football as I can because there's going to be games going on while I'm on air and get you guys ready for week 6 of the NFL. So go check out Huddle Hub Podcast, twitch.tv/Huddle Hub Podcast, youtube.com/@the-Huddle-Pod, and over on X and TikTok @the Huddle Pod.
Another loss incoming for the Ravens. Here we go. Let's go.
Way to have freaking belief in your team. Jeez.
I don't have any faith in my team anymore after everything that's happened. All right. Sorry.
I get it. Trust me. I understand. I've been there. So.
I mean, when the Texans come in and drop a 40 bomb on you, I mean,
I don't have any faith.
Yeah.
Come on. Let's just not do this.
As for me, of course, my socials are on the bottom. As Mike said, I will not be on the Huddle Hub this Sunday. I will be in the midst of traveling. And then Monday is still kind of up in the air depending on when I get back for the table spot. So hopefully table spot will be as scheduled on Monday night after Monday Night Raw. Of course, we'll be back here again discussing AEW Dynamite next Wednesday. And of course, doing our predictions for Wrestle Dream. So stay tuned for that as well. But as I always say at the end of every stream, love and appreciate all you guys come by, check out the stream. Love, peace, and prosperity. And we are out.